Hello, everybody, and welcome to a very special edition of the Talking Video Games podcast. Something that we haven't done for a few years, and why it's a special edition is because, obviously, I'm your host, Rory Bailey, but I'm joined by the specialist of special guests, the yin to my yang, Mr. Connor Franks. How's it going, man?
Hello, it's a pleasure to be here.
Had to stop. I was going to say other things, and then thought, get in trouble already.
We will. Yeah, the favourite has returned. Yeah, the favourite has returned, talking about video games, because that's what most of our conversations are anyway, to be fair.
Yeah, and for the benefit of those watching who have wondered why the pair of us haven't been doing anything for a while, the main things we used to do was wrestling podcasts, and unfortunately, there's not been a lot to talk about wrestling-wise this year. That's been enjoyable, that I can guarantee that I could do a whole podcast out of. And that's sort of where we've been at with that.
Yeah, plus it's one of them things, if we're being real, it's a very oversaturated market.
Yeah. And there's also
wrestling. If you commit to like a wrestling podcast, you've got to commit to watching it. And with how it can either be great or just fucking terrible. Like WWE Raw, for example, if it's shit by 5 minutes in, I'm not watching the rest of it. So I'm not going to I'm not going to read the results and then pretend that I watched it and cared about it.
Yeah. No, I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, so that's...
Well, the other thing, the major thing for both of us is that we both got married. Not to
Unfortunately, not to each other.
Wait, let me see that ring.
Hold on.
Oh, no, okay. From the reflection...
I genuinely looked at that one.
Did you?
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I thought for a second the synchronicity was going to have gone that way. But by the way, folks, we didn't get married to each other. That would have happened if we were doing more regular pods, probably. But
that would have also been content.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Team Venom marriage pod.
But yeah, congratulations, dude.
You too.
Thank you. It's very strange, isn't it, to be sat on here as married men and therefore...
Yeah, it's weird.
Respectable members of society, supposedly, to at least one other person.
Yeah, we've managed to fool one person, so that's always a bonus.
Yeah.
If we want to let the people behind the curtain properly, synchronicity, COVID, that's fun.
Yeah, this is why we both sound a bit rough. And if anyone watched my Bound for Glory podcast, I know that only like 5 have at this point.
Just like Impact.
Yes.
But I'm not part of Team Venom, I can say this.
That's true. But, have you watched all of that podcast? I know you watched bits of it. No, I didn't think you had. But, it gets to halfway, and then I'm just like... Because the COVID just takes me. Yeah. There's a point in that podcast where, shit, it's not pleasant. And I just feel like stammering through the whole thing and had to over-rely on Paul. Which, So thank you, Paul.
told you I had it, and then what? 8 hours later,
yeah,
you're like, bastard.
Yeah. Well, that was it. Because we were going to film this last week initially, and then we both had the dreaded 1.9 variant 12 or whatever we're on. So fun times. Yeah. But how
Spider-Man?
Oh yeah, Spider-Man.
Yeah, I'm good, man. Change your background since we last saw.
Yeah.
I'm in a big ass shed.
And I am also in a new place, but you can't tell because I've put Spider-Man
there. Yeah, this will be changing again either before or after Christmas, because right now, can you see it? Right there.
Ah, nice.
There's a big ass armchair.
Yeah. The top of it. Yeah.
Sick of it. So I want to get a bigger desk, move shit around, have a bit more of a better background, because they're very sort of football and sports orientated right now. Whereas to my right, which probably is on screen left, I've got Overwatch Ultimates, Black Adam figures, League of Legends, Gamerverse, Marvel Legends. If I do this, you can see that there you go.
All the wrestling stuff.
There's a big cabinet right there next to my desk that's got comics, video games, graded Pokemon cards, all that shit, and I kind of want it in a better thing. How are things with you?
Very good. As you know, on the last when we did the Christmas one last year, I just moved into a new house, which was with my then partner before we were married, obviously at that point. So all things are great. The house is awesome. Can't complain. At the moment, I've got a nice big empty room that I can do this to with pure white walls behind, so I can change the background without any aggro, which is. I've got setups as well, because I've got the garage is now properly set up as a man cave. Got all the vintage consoles in there and everything. And in fact, I'm going to briefly disappear from the screens to fetch something that you will appreciate because I stole your idea. So just be 2 seconds.
No, I'm
Spider-Man.
Well, speaking of Spider-Man, while he's gone, shameless plug. Head over to Twitch.tv/Connor Yorkie from midnight. Shut up, I'm busy. From midnight at the time of recording, the 19th of October, midnight tonight, so 19th/20th, I will be streaming Spider-Man 2 live at its release.
Nice.
Knowing me, probably have it finished by halfway through tomorrow. If not, go to Connor Yorkie on YouTube. I'll slap the VODs up there. Anyway, pushing out the way.
I liked it. It was good. It was beautiful. And there's lots of stuff on Connor Yorkie at YouTube at the moment that I've quite enjoyed. You've got the Miles Morales playthroughs and stuff like that on there, a load of the FIFA Ultimate Team stuff. It's great.
Yeah, the FIFA's not going to carry on because I'm not going to lie to you, to the guys at home. I can't be editing it.
Yeah. That's one of those things. Like we know that that this channel would be bigger, but effort.
Yeah. Well, it's like when you play FIFA, man. You play it for hours, and you've got to condense hours of footage into like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And I just don't care enough to do that.
Yeah, fair enough.
If I play something on Twitch, I can just rip the VOD, split it into parts, slap it up, job done.
Well, I'm going to show you something beautiful that I stole your idea for, because this is that's part of the thing's doing a besmirchment, but you can look at it all flapping around. We've got a household video games championship, which I know you've actually got like a proper belt and stuff. This is our little custom one that me and
I like
my
that,
son
though.
had. Yeah,
I like that.
We've got the I've got to move it in front of my body for it to not disappear. So that's the Bailey family crest like that on there, just for fun. And obviously, I know that's taken off a magazine, the Games Master thing, but that is basically what we are calling our gaming champion.
I like it. I like it.
Yeah, and we also have the championship record so far as well, so we know who's kicking out whose ass on there and stuff. It's great.
Well, anytime that I can come in as an outsider and just take.
We've got a rules section. We've got a rules sheet that states that guests are allowed to compete for the belt. So when you come round, there is a spare sofa, and also a full garage with a massive fuck off sofa and giant TV in. But yeah,
Rory Bailey, we're coming for you, sir.
Coming for you, gotta. But had to mute my mic. COVID cough. Spider-Man. Swip. But yeah, no, it's one of those things. I know you had one with your lads and stuff. We've got one here because we just enjoyed the idea of it. We just thought it was a bit of fun, and it's worked out really well. My eldest is stupidly over competitive with it, but he's always been really over competitive anyway. So this is actually working well at like calming him down a bit, because we got like we put a whole sheet of rules out that we all set out between us, so we can't challenge with the same game twice in a row. So, for example, my son's stupidly good at 2K23, and it's like he's always going to win if that's all he uses. My stepson's really good at the Naruto games on the PS4, so that's what he challenged to win the title with the first time. It was like, yeah, now you can't challenge with that again now. All that sort of stuff. Like that. We've got it so that whoever's the champion only has to defend it once a day if they want to, but they can defend it more. And so whoever challenges the champion for that first time picks what they're going for. But if the champion wants to get cocky and try and get his defenses up, he can challenge anyone else to any game throughout the day. So Ruben's been going like, oh yeah, well, what if we have a Royal Rumble? I'm like, yes, and then throwing him straight out like, and stuff like that. So Spider-Man, but yeah. So
I'm close to 12 months
yes,
as the champion in my house.
nice. Well, we do have a guest clause on there. However, the rules do state that should you win, you have to defend that title within 7 days, or it gets vacated. So you got to stay for a week at least.
It's fine. I'll Brock Lesnar this shit, and I'll be champion, and you'll see me once a year, and it's all good.
You can go full Roman. You can get Lucas to appear holding your belts in the background, like when you do whenever you do a podcast. You just stood there, no, just completely silent for like the whole duration. I think that'd be amazing.
Thwip.
Anyway, so Spider-Man. We're 10 minutes in, or maybe more. Who knows? And we haven't actually said what the subject of today's podcast is.
You guys might not know this. I'm gonna tell you. Spider-Man. So with the release of Spider-Man 2, it seemed appropriate that there's actually a current theme to discuss instead of us going, oh, should we do this console or this genre? It was like, right, this is dropping. It's been a long time coming. A lot of people are excited about it. There's a whole fucking catalogue of Spider-Man games. Boom, let's talk about that.
Indeed. So one of the other things I want to touch up on is that this is an introduction of Venom into there, and obviously we are Team Venom Media, so if there's any new Venom content, we should probably cover it by default. But we're going into spoiler territory here for the previous 2 games. It's pretty much a given that based on the ending, the cliffhangers, well, post-credit scenes from the last 2 Spider-Man games, Spider-Man and Miles Morales, it's pretty much a given that it's going to be Harry Osborn as Venom, which is an unusual take on the character, but I actually quite like it.
It is. I wouldn't be too surprised if he's like the first Venom and then there's a new host kind of thing.
Could be. We could get a Brock tease at the end.
Just because I think with these current games, like look how good Rhino was and Vulture and Electro, etc.
Yeah.
Green Goblin would be a great person to have to fight with those mechanics. So I think, Venom's a symbiote. He can literally move, can't he? So it's not going to be that hard for them to do. If they choose to do it, we could just have Harry Osborn as Venom and then that's it. But I think there's a lot of room for more. Like I'm excited for Craven being in there. That's different.
Yeah.
Certainly going to be better to see him there than it will be to see him on the big screen.
Yes.
Yep. And I know that I'm interested to see what side villains we're going to get.
Yeah.
Because obviously in the first Spider-Man and
there was loads and it was great.
Yeah, on the Miles Morales, there was a whole check on the villain list.
Yeah.
But I'm just excited because Spider-Man was amazing. I bought that like Boxing Day, not last year, the year before. Might have been last year. No,
which one? The Miles Morales or the first one?
The first one. I played the Miles Morales the other day for the very first time because I refused to play. I refused to pay 50 quid for a 7-hour story.
Yeah.
And
can you remember who told you it was 7 hours?
I can. It was you, and I waited.
When I bought it the day after Boxing Day 3 years ago and finished it the same day.
Yeah.
And took it back.
Yeah. I waited till it came on like PlayStation Plus Premium or whatever the like Xbox Game Pass equivalent is.
Yeah.
Downloaded it and then played for ages, and then we got close to this. I pre-ordered it and thought, let's play through this. Did it on Twitch just so in case it wasn't great. It was decent.
It's a good enough story.
It is. It's a glorified DLC. I don't think there'll be any arguments there, but it was enough to make Miles feel as important as Peter, which is what they needed for Spider-Man 2. I've avoided reading into Spider-Man 2. I'm not going to lie because I want to minimize.
I don't know anything about the plot. or any. I
No.
know there's reviews out there that have given that, and as I said, we gave a spoiler warning for the ends of Miles and the normal Spider-Man game, but beyond that, we know nothing, which is great. So everything's going to be
Yeah,
pure
which is how it should
speculation.
be.
Yeah. See, one of the things that I'm sort of hoping to
Okay.
do is, you know how Miles was introduced in the first Spider-Man game, then they did the spin-off that, like you say, was like a glorified DLC. We've seen gameplay trailers that show Peter in the black suit and having all the Venom powers and all that sort of stuff. If they've built it, we're going to get a Venom standalone game
I would.
because those mechanics are there.
The mechanics will be there, and it will be a possibility. I just think it's going to depend on story and what kind of route they're going to take with Venom.
Well,
because if
Harry...
they make him like, sorry, if they make him Venom more like the movies Venom, they could make a game out of that purely based on it's a very much a 50-50 relationship with the host. But if they go for, to keep it movie, like Topher Grace Venom,
the
symbiote basically changed Eddie Brock to be angry, and just his purpose was basically keeping Venom alive. If it goes that route, you can't really make a game out of it because that Venom needs to be stopped.
Yeah. But what if...
So, I don't know. I'd like to see a game. As I said, same with like the Wolverine game coming out.
Well, so just random fanboy theory based on, knowledge of comics and films and shit. What if we get, because it's Harry Osborn that's Venom, and we've got Peter and Mary Jane have referenced him a bunch in the previous games and all that. When Harry was the Green Goblin in the comics, he ended up saving Peter's life and dying that way at the end of his stint as the Green Goblin. And then more recently, he came back from the dead due to One More Day and all that stupid stuff. And then in Nick Spencer's run on Amazing Spider-Man, they killed him off again, but he also used a load of the Goblin stuff to help Spider-Man again. So they've been putting him in like heroic light and stuff. So they could go that route. They could have Peter get through to him, and they could have him become an anti-hero, well, a hero by default. Or they could go the route of introducing Flash Thompson, who's another one of their childhood friends, well, Peter's bully, that became one of their shared friends. And, they could have Flash, let's say Harry dies or whatever. Again, no idea whether this is true, complete pure speculation, and this is how I would go about setting up a Venom spin-off. What if they have Harry die for whatever reason? We could have Green Goblin decide to kill Spider-Man or whatever, because they could still have him in the game and have just kept really quiet about it. And Harry could sacrifice himself. You could think the symbiote's gone, and then let's say they're all at a funeral at the end. Flash Thompson stood there because it's his childhood friend too, and they could have Flash Thompson not stood there. He could be sat in a wheelchair without his legs because of the whole Afghanistan thing, and they could all be sat around there, and then you could see the Venom, like a remnants of the symbiote going towards his wheelchair or something like that, just like a little tease, and then they could do an Agent Venom game.
That would be cool, but I think an Agent Venom game wouldn't happen purely based on they want reach, don't they? They want...
Yeah. Well, they wouldn't necessarily call it Agent Venom. I mean,
the story would go down. Yeah.
No, so what I would like Venom and all that.
What would be cool to see, even if it's in like another DLC follow-up game, because unfortunately Miles Morales did well, so I can see them doing that again.
Yeah.
Maybe we get introduced to someone like some non-exclusive Spider-Man villains or side people, like Juggernaut would be really cool to fight in that sort of thing. Human Torch could be really cool to sort of come across. Like a Wolverine, not physical like an actual cameo, but have something that's obviously to do with Wolverine to show that they're in that universe, because that go video game version of the MCU.
Yeah.
Spider-Man, Wolverine, say they do a Venom one. Maybe we
There's
get
a new Iron Man scheduled as well.
yeah, Iron Man. Say I don't know, Fantastic Four, just because Human Torch, Spider-Man history,
Yeah,
and then eventually we get a Avengers Infinity War level video game.
basically Marvel Ultimate Alliance Infinity.
Yeah, but good.
But like really good.
Yeah, like that kind of thing. Because like the Avengers game, I know they added Spider-Man into that, but we don't need to talk about that Spider-Man.
Yeah, I didn't get
But
to
they
play
could
it.
do that kind of. Do you know what? I watched somebody play it when it first dropped, and I saw the web swinging mechanics, and I'm
Exactly.
like, nope.
Yep, exactly.
But yeah, there's a.
The worst thing about that though was at the same time Spider-Man was put into Fortnite, and they put web shooters in that game, and how great was that?
It was better web mechanics, yeah.
Yeah.
Mental. Look, we could sit here and do wish lists for Spider-Man 2. The fact is, it releases in 6 hours time, less than 6 hours time. So let's talk about Spider-Man as a whole.
Yeah.
We probably share a lot of the same opinions. However, what is to you doesn't have to be the best, as in the best overall game, but to you, let's ignore Spider-Man PS4 because I feel like that could be an easy answer for anyone.
Yeah.
What's your favorite Spider-Man game? Yeah.
It is a difficult one because like my first Spider-Man game I had was Spider-Man on the Master System, and I played that to death because that was the era of gaming that I had as a child.
Yeah.
I had the PlayStation 1 one when that came out as well because again all the movie tie-ins I played those as they came out. Spider-Man 2 is viewed as one of the best games because it was really good. I think probably Web of Shadows is one of no. Web of Shadows is up there. It's really, really good, the whole symbiote invasion thing. But then they did the Shattered Dimensions where they had the 4 different versions of Spider-Man that you could play as and followed that up with Edge of Time. And I'd say Edge of Time is probably my favourite, where you were switching between Amazing and 2099.
Nah, that's fair. They were incredible. They're really sought after even to this day as well.
Yeah, and they're
I was looking at them
ridiculously expensive to get them now for like.
Yeah, I was looking at them like a week ago because I was just sort of like, I'm sort of like Spider-Man up right now. What else can I?
Yeah,
I looked and I was like, oh,
I know, it's really upsetting.
Yeah. Respectable answers.
What's yours?
I want to shit on a certain Spider-Man game because it was awful. Friend or foe?
Yeah. I remember being so hyped for that. And I saw it advertised in the back of a comic and it was like, oh, Raimi's Spider-Man, Iron Fist. And at the time, I really loved Iron Fist. We had a conversation outside of the podcast where I was telling you about how Brubaker's Iron Fist was one of my favorite runs of comics. That was when Friend or Foe came out. So I was like, holy shit, they put Iron Fist in the Spider-Man game. I've got to play this.
On paper, it should have been amazing.
It should have.
Mine, again, you can probably call me biased for this. You'll understand why. My favorite is Ultimate Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah.
Loved it. Loved everything about it.
Yeah.
Everything about it, man. The cameos, the like being Venom and fighting Wolverine at the very start. Are you kidding me? Yeah. That's how you pull someone into a game.
Yes, definitely. That bar fight thing was awesome.
Yeah. The art style playing through the whole game like that.
Yeah. Fun fact, that's how they introduced the ultimate version of the Beetle, was in that game. And then he crossed over into the comics, but his introduction was that game. And in the graphic novel, well, not the graphic novels, but in the regular issues of Ultimate Spider-Man at the time, they occasionally alluded to events from that game. So the Beetle, when he turns up in the Ultimate Comics, is the same Beetle from the game. Stuff with Wolverine, Venom, and everything, that's all happened and all canon to Ultimate Spider-Man. But they didn't. You could only find that story by playing that game, which is awesome.
It is. And while we're on the topic, just because it's one of my favorite comic possessions.
Nice. And who got you that, sir?
I don't know, some knobhead.
Yes. Yes, it was. Some prize to knobhead.
Yes.
But yeah, no. To be fair, Ultimate Spider-Man is one of my all-time favorites, and in terms of the actual interpretations of Spider-Man as a whole. But I'm pretty sure if people want more Spider-Man content from us, there's a whole podcast that me and you did a few years ago where we were talking about Ultimate Comics and how great Ultimate Spider-Man was.
I mean, off the
I
top of my
vaguely
head,
recall doing that. That's somewhere on the channel.
I don't remember that, but
Probably.
I'm not going to argue saying you're wrong because we talked so much shit.
We did that thing where we were doing the comic show, and I'm sure we did
Yeah.
yeah, and we sat there and like, look at this.
Also, while we're talking about this, if you haven't picked it up, I managed to find this. This is a
Oh,
full-ass
nice.
Spider-Man book, and it's an official prequel to the PS4 Spider-Man game.
Oh, nice.
Really good, actually. I thought I bought online, thought it was like a graphic novel, big ass book, and I was kind of like, is that going to translate well?
Yeah.
It did very well, actually.
Nice.
So it's called Hostile Takeover by David Liss. If anyone wants to try and find it, it's worth checking out.
Well, yeah, that's pretty much us for time for what we set out for this episode. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Thank you, Connor, for being you.
You're one of the few people to say that. You're welcome.
To be fair, I'm the only one from the history of our channel that's actually appreciated that.
And that's why I'm still here.
The deletor. But yeah, if you've enjoyed the show, please feel free to like, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and leave us some comments about the sort of stuff you want us to see us ramble about in future episodes. Cheers.